Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Chronicles and Beyond. I am back with another video. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this one. If you do, please don't forget to give this video a massive thumbs up, to leave a comment down below, and also to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So yeah guys, how have you guys been doing? How have you guys been holding up? I can't believe that we are back to another wave of this COVID-19, guys. Hope you guys are keeping safe. I hope you guys are like following all the regulations, taking care of your families, taking care of people around you, and just doing your part in making sure that you don't be the one to spread this virus. So guys, in today's video I want to share with you guys a little bit about my job hunting journey, or let me just call it my job hunting experience during a pandemic. So this is a video that I've really been wanting to do, mostly because, as I did share with you guys on my first video that I shot this year, that I want to really incorporate more like career talk, personal development talks onto this channel. Initially when I started this channel, I just wanted to share with you guys like my faith journey, my spirituality journey, the stuff that I'm learning as I'm growing as a young adult in terms of my faith, my spirituality, and also my personal life. And a big part of my personal life at the moment is definitely my career. So yeah, this is why I want to share this video with you guys. And the second reason is because I do get a couple of DMs from like Instagram, Twitter, and also LinkedIn from people who are asking me, Muredi, how were you able to secure a job so fast? Especially because we are within a pandemic. Secondly, because the unemployment rate in South Africa is just skyrocketing. So you really need to make sure that if you are in the job market, you do your part. The truth of the matter is that there are certain things that are beyond your control, and you need to be aware of that as you're trying to enter into the job market, you can only do so much, but make sure that what you're supposed to do, you do it perfectly. Certain things are beyond your control, you know, whether people like you in a panel or they don't like you, that's beyond you, but you need to make sure that you do your part and to the best of your ability. So I just want to share this with you guys, and I do want to give this disclaimer right early into this video that this is definitely a video not about how to get a job, you know, because if I try to do such a video, I'll be very biased, because I also don't know, you know. It's not like after varsity there were like a flock of companies running after me, giving me job offers. I also got rejected quite a lot, hey. And yeah, I also missed out on a lot of opportunities, but I did get this one offer, and I got it in a legit way, and it was a good offer, you know. So I do think that there is something that I did do right, and maybe as I share with you guys my journey and my experience and the things that I did and the things that I was learning as I was looking for a job, maybe you will incorporate a thing or two from my my strategy, for lack of a better word, into your strategy for looking for a job, especially in these times in South Africa. So yeah guys, and also if you followed me for like different content, let me say you followed me because you like my faith segments, you followed me because you enjoyed a vlog, don't be afraid to just love and leave us from this video, because if it's not relevant to you, I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, you wouldn't benefit much from this video, but be sure to recommend it to someone who will find it useful. So yeah guys, let's get right straight into the video. Okay, so 2019, end of 2019, I got my final year results, and then I knew that okay, I am going into final year. Immediately when I got my final year results, I was like, Muredi, okay, that's it. You are now officially in the job market. So the first thing that I'm going to advise you guys, and the first thing that I personally did, is that I started looking for a job ASAP, you know. I feel like one mistake that graduates or final year students normally make is that they wait until the last hour. When it comes to job hunting, you do not wait until the last hour. You start as soon as possible. So I started preparing myself for looking for a job in the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. January 2020, I was putting my ducks in a row. I was coming up with plans and strategies of how am I going to approach this whole job seeking thing. So the first thing that you can actually learn from my journey, and the first thing that I think I did correctly, is to start early. So 2019 got my final year result. Got my results that I am going into final year. After that, what I did was that I started doing my research in terms of trying to find out what industries people with my skills, people with my qualification actually work in. You'll realize that a lot of us, when we make our career choices are normally based on like doing research on the internet, and you're just like, oh, okay. For example, myself, I did research and I found that, okay, I'm good with chemistry and I'm good with maths. I want to study something that will incorporate those two things, and I found chemical engineering as a very good option based on my research that I did on the internet. And this is research that I did like 7-8 years ago, so a lot of things have changed since then. So once you are almost ready to go into the job market, you need to do your research in terms of what industries are actually looking for people with my skills and my qualifications. So that's the first thing that I did. So I found that, okay, chemical engineers are now working a lot in the mineral processing space. They work in petrochemicals. They are working at banks as quantitative analysts. They are working in consulting companies as business analysts. They are working in food industries, in production, so many different industries. So I kind of took it upon myself to write down a list of all those industries that are taking people with my skills and my qualification. The second thing that I did is that I went on and created a LinkedIn account. I know that a lot of people are so double-minded and so skeptical about LinkedIn, but I think LinkedIn is a really great space. If you are on the job market, if you are looking for a job, utilize LinkedIn. I'm telling you, utilize LinkedIn. You know, if you use LinkedIn correctly, it will definitely benefit you. So the second thing that I did 2020 January, I set up my LinkedIn account. I made sure that my LinkedIn looks professional, it looks presentable. I set up my LinkedIn account in a way that someone would love to connect with me. So after setting up my LinkedIn account, started connecting with people in my industry. The reason I did this is because, guys, I wanted to find out by connecting with people, where is my industry kind of going? Where are people with my skills and my knowledge and my qualification actually working? I know the industries that they are working at, but I'm not sure which companies are actually recruiting. I'm telling you, if you're a chemical engineering graduate or a process engineering graduate, you probably know that, okay, I'm gonna probably work at a Sasol or an Anglo American and a BHP Billiton, but how many do those people take, you know? So you need to know what companies are actually recruiting for people with my skills. And how do you get to know that? By looking at people in your industry. Where are they working, you know? So I connected with people on LinkedIn, and then after connecting with people on LinkedIn, I went ahead. I'm doing all this in December and January of December 2019, January 2018. I went ahead and created a spreadsheet. So I don't know, I'm not very good with editing, but if I was gonna insert my Excel spreadsheet somewhere here and show you guys that I actually created a spreadsheet with a list of companies per industry, to say these are companies that are recruiting for people with my skill. Remember, I'm doing this in January, even before graduate programs and recruitment starts, but I was already having a target to say these are the target companies that I'm going to look at. So I went ahead and said, okay, in the petroleums industry, you have your Sasol, you have your Shell, you have your Total. Those are companies that are recruiting. You have your BP as well. you have an engine essay, you have your SAF report. So I made a list of that, and I made a list of companies which are in the mineral processing space, your Exaros, your BHP Billiton, your Anglo American, your Minopax, all the companies that I could find that are in the mineral processing industry. I wrote a list of them. I wrote a list of banks that are recruiting for engineers. That is, F&B is looking for quantitative analysts, and they look for engineers. NetBank, it has a very nice program. You have your Standard Bank, Capitec, all these banks are recruiting for engineers. So I made a list of all those banks. I made a list of consulting companies. I made a list of companies that are recruiting for data analysts, you know, your Sanlam. I made a list of consulting companies like your Accenture, all those kind of stuff. So these are companies that I had on my list to say, these are companies that I'm targeting to apply for. After that, I went ahead and said, yo guys, to be honest, now that I look back at my job hunting journey, and now that I'm trying to explain this to you guys, I can really see that, hey, I actually went all out. Anyways, after I did that, I went ahead and visited the website of every company that I put on that list. I think by January, I had about 50 companies on my Excel spreadsheet that I had identified. My target, I told myself that, you know, when you're like, I'm gonna test God and I'm gonna test the system. January, my Excel spreadsheet had about 50 companies. My target was 200 companies. I wanted to send out my resume to 200 companies, and I was like, there's no way one is gonna say yes. So by January, I had like 50 companies on that spreadsheet, and I kept on building on the spreadsheet. So I went on to each company's website, I checked their careers portal, and I checked. Some of these companies are going to tell you when their graduate programs open, some of them are not. For the companies that you can't actually see when their graduate programs are going to open, you just Google Total SA graduate program, and you're gonna find information from years back, and then you'll see that, oh, okay, they actually start recruiting at this time. Tiger Brands, RCL Food, Nestle. If you Google, you're gonna find out when their graduate programs actually open. I put those dates, open dates and closing dates, on my Excel spreadsheet so that I can just check when the date arrives if the posts are out yet. Okay, so after that, I realized that, you know what, I took time to actually sit down and analyze my skills, because I really wanted to see where can I actually apply the skills that I've learned in university. So I actually took time out and sat down and asked myself this question to say, in my many years studying chemical engineering, what did I actually learn? What skills did I acquire that I can actually transfer? Because you know what, guys, the most important skills that you can ever get, these are transferable skills. Skills that can be applied across the board, like problem solving. That is one of the key skills that you learn as a chemical engineer, as a process engineer. Analyzing of processes, that is a skill that you learn. So I sat down with myself and I was like, okay, Mredi, what did you actually learn in this degree? So I asked that question to myself, and it is important that you are able to answer that question to yourself. You know, that is probably a question you're going to get into at an interview, but it is important that you actually establish, what have I learned? You know, what kind of asset am I going to be to a business? What am I actually selling? What is my brand? So I said to myself, okay, I've studied chemical engineering, I've studied process engineering. I am able to analyze processes from start to finish. With process engineering, you learn how to design processes, you learn how to operate processes, you learn how to optimize processes. So the skill of analyzing a process holistically is not a skill that a lot of people have. So I was like, okay, process analysis is a skill that I've learned. Process optimization, being able to, I think, how did I put that word? attention to detail. In process engineering or chemical engineering, you need to learn to look at the small details, to identify problems in the small details. So I said I'm good with attention to detail. You learn how to analyze mathematical models. I say, okay, that's a skill, mathematical modeling. I use a lot of Python. I'm not like a Python geek, but if you open a Python code to me, I will be able to understand eventually what the code is trying to do. So coding and the soft skills, guys, do not ever undermine the soft skills. The soft skills are what the recruiters are looking for. Time management, organization, working with people, being a team player. Those skills are so important to have. They are so important for you to put on a CV, because all other skills, all other technical stuff, they are going to teach you, but they cannot teach you confidence. They cannot teach you time management. They cannot teach you assertiveness. They cannot teach you emotional intelligence. So it's important for you to say, hey, I'm emotionally intelligent. I know how to work with people. I know how to deal with people's emotions. Those kind of stuff. So yeah, that's definitely what I did. I identified the skills that I have. And guys, you need to, I think this is such an important thing to do, because a lot of degrees that we study these days are very broad. You need to be able to answer to yourself, what did I actually learn? So yeah, that's another thing that I did. The next thing that I did is that I identified like a software, an app that I could use to write my CV. This was definitely a trial and error, guys, until I got to a CV that I was very happy with. It took me a lot of time. I kept changing my CV. I kept changing apps. I probably have like 10 CV writing apps on my phone, but the one that I actually stuck with and decided to use is Leaply. I'm gonna put the link to Leaply in my description box. I'm not gonna expand a lot on Leaply, but I love it. Everybody, my friends, know that I've recommended them using Leaply. I've shown them the CV that I generated on Leaply, and to tell you the truth, that's also the CV that actually got me the job that I have now. The only thing that I'd criticize about Leaply is that you cannot customize your CV, in terms of you cannot change the general format, you can't change the design, but I like the design. It's simple, straight to the point. I love it. So yeah. And the next thing that I did after finally getting to a space where I'm like, okay, this is my CV, I love my CV, I always adapted and changed my CV according to the role. I mean, you, like I'm saying, identify that a lot of chemical engineers are working in as quantitative analysts. Some of them are like working in mineral processing companies. I cannot use the same CV that I used to apply for a bank, to apply for working in the mines. It's not gonna make sense, guys. So your CV must be in line with the role. So for me, I made a CV that's general because I don't have experience. I don't have much experience. So the one thing that I used to change is my profile section. You know, that section of the top where you write a summary about myself. So if I'm applying for a quantitative analyst role, I'll say I'm good with design thinking, mathematical modeling, Python. I'd put that as like a big thing. But if I'm applying for like a mineral processing role, I'd say, okay, I don't know, I enjoy mineral processing, I enjoy process analysis, you understand? So I always used to change my summary section to suit the role that I am applying for. So I actually saved my CVs under different names. I'd have a Muredi Mafugata CV for min, which means mineral processing. I'd have Muredi Mafugata for data. I just put a D. I had codes for myself to say this is the CV that I'm using to apply for this kind of industry. Yeah. And then the next important thing that I did, I asked one of my lecturers to write a referral letter for me. So this is very important, guys. Some companies, when you apply, they will ask for a referral letter. Some of them will not ask for that. But if there is space, if they say, upload supporting documents, and there's a lot of space, please just hoy in as many things as possible. That's what I always used to do. So if there's space, I would always put in the referral lecture that the referral letter that my supervisor wrote for me, which was a very beautiful letter. This is just something that will say, okay, this person has an excellent work ethic, I've worked with them, whatever this person is gonna say. So you must have at least one lecturer who can say something about you, you know. So that's also another thing that I did that I think helped me in my job hunting journey. So with LinkedIn, I want to go back to LinkedIn shortly. Connect with people in your industry, but also importantly, connect with recruiters. Go to LinkedIn and search recruiters. Go to LinkedIn and search talent acquisition specialists, talent managers. Those are the three important people. They are even more important than people in your industry. So HR, talent acquisition specialists, graduate recruiters, those kind of people who are actually looking for the talent, connect with them. They are the ones who are going to notice you. They are the ones who are actually going to post when there are actually jobs out there. So do that. Yeah, so the second last thing that I did, I really kept myself accountable. I had a weekly target to say this week I'm going to apply for 5 jobs. So as much as I had a target when it comes to my schoolwork, to say, okay, I want to finish this design project, I want to finish whatever. I had weekly academic targets for myself, but I also had weekly job targets for myself to say this week I'm applying for 5 jobs. And I used to keep myself accountable. I had a notepad on my phone notepad. I'm probably going to try and insert the picture here because I still have it. I had a list of companies that I'm going to apply for. I used to like code it to say if the company has responded, I'd write it in green and stuff like that. Just keep yourself accountable. Make a list to say I have applied to these companies, so that you don't just feel like you're applying a lot. You don't even know how many companies you've applied to. I know for a fact I applied to 70 companies. At the end of the year, by the time I got this offer, I was on company number 70. And yeah, I'd gone for a lot of psychometric assessments. I had been on different stages of recruitment with different companies, but I'm telling you, from the 70 companies that I applied for, I probably got 20 responses, and I probably went into 20 responses, and let's say 25 responses. 15 of those were like straight rejections, and 10 of those I went through like psychometric assessments, first interview stages, those kind of stuff. So I think the fact that I actually got at least 25 responses made me feel like, okay, my CV is up to par. People are actually picking up my CV, you know, because a rejection is definitely better than no response at all. So yeah, guys, this isn't all, but I think these are the most important things that I did while looking for a job. I do just want to encourage you guys, every single application that I did, okay, let me say 90% of the applications that I did, I prayed over my applications, because you need God. You really need a lot of faith. Things are really hectic, things are tough, and you need to have something that you are holding on to. So pray, guys, trust, believe, ignore negativity. Every single person who's telling you people aren't getting jobs because of COVID, maybe that's true, but that's not your truth. That's not your reality. Please do not listen to negativity. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, and apply. Even if it looks like you don't qualify. The job that I got, the requirement was like, they said they want 1 year experience would be advantageous, and they also say they want academic performers. I was definitely an average student. I did not have 1 year of experience, but I got it because I believed in myself. I believed in myself. I had faith, and I had God on my side. So you gotta have a backbone. You gotta have something that you trust and believe in. So I wish you guys all the best. If you're watching this video and you're on the job market, I'm telling you, your time is coming, your season is coming. You're gonna get that job, you're gonna get that opportunity. you can do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want me to do more videos like this, please let me know in the comment section. If you have video recommendations, let me know and I'll definitely do the video. But until my next video, stay safe guys. Bye bye.